if you're a heart-centered CEO and you're wondering if your next breakthrough is going to come from hard work and hustle or sitting still and doing the inner work, that's exactly what we're going to dive into now. So stay tuned. Welcome back, my online family. I'll explain what I've been doing in a little bit, but what we're going to discuss here is a question that might be on a lot of your minds, because if you're wondering if your next breakthrough, your next business insight, your next huge result is going to come about, whether you in the form of hard work and hustle and breaking through, or whether it's in the form of just sitting in silence and being still and meditating and feeling, right? Loving those internal 5-year-olds that come up. That's exactly what we'll be discussing, because both can be in your expansion, right? Results can come from both. But what we'll dive in deep into here is what is the best answer for you. Now, why am I discussing this topic? Well, literally yesterday, I finished UPW, which is Unleash the Power Within, virtually with Tony Robbins. And I've done the program before. And for those of you who have done it also, you know that it's all about shifting your state, right? And it gives you the tactics, tools, and strategies of high performance. And I think it's vital. I think it's so important to be able to reframe, shift your state, right? Physically, emotionally, mentally, and to be able to execute your goals from a place of high performance. Now, what's fascinating is that I've been doing this work for years. I've been doing this for ages, and I've been doing these types of programs for a long time, and it's changed my life. I seriously have the certainty and confidence consistently that I can visualize a goal and make it happen. Right? I can visualize a goal and figure out the way to that goal and make it manifest in my life. Now, here's the interesting thing. I found myself time and time again doing this work, but I also found myself overdeveloping that muscle. And I found myself using the hard work, hustle, effort strategy time and time again to a point where I was now using that strategy for everything, right? No matter what came up, it was just my default was more hard work and hustle. And that became overdeveloped. I started seeing that as the solution to everything. And not only did I find myself running into walls time and time again, I found myself attached to those external results, right? And my internal world was starting to fall apart because I started to realize that was hooked it was attached to my worthiness. It was attached to how I saw myself as a person and if I was worthy enough. And so I started noticing this in a bunch of entrepreneurial circles where the hard work and hustle and more effort philosophy was starting to overtake people's internal fulfillment. And so what I started to do was meditate. And I just went into the other extreme. And I developed the muscle of sitting still. And I realized my pattern. I realized and could see that was no longer in my expansion. Instead of taking the hard work and hustle and realizing I was trying to operate from a place of fear, I sat with my fear and started to breathe and started to notice that 5-year-old within me that needed to succeed to feel enough. And I had huge levels of insight, huge levels of expansion. The question is, which is the right tool? Is it the hard work and hustle? Or is it the sitting still and having those internal insights and meditation? That's what we'll be answering for you in a minute. But first of all, I'd like to ask you, if you were to describe yourself, which of these extremes are you most afraid of? Being lazy or being stuck in the hard work and hustle? And what this question might be able to pull out and allow you to see is which extreme do you most relate with. If you're in entrepreneurship, if you're trying to operate in your life where you're manifesting something you haven't manifested before, and you're truly dedicating your life to service, my inkling suggests that you might be using one of the tools in a way that's a little bit jaded, in a way that's a little bit overdeveloped. Do you go to one or the other? My question is, what happens when you run into an obstacle? When you run into an obstacle, you run into a level of uncertainty. What tool do you go to by default? Do you go to the hard work, hustle strategy, the effort, right? Or do you most likely go inward, right? Do you most likely go and sit in stillness and meditate and just sit there and breathe? Which one do you most likely do? Which one is your pattern, your primary pattern? And what I found within myself in both extremes, and also with coaching so many people, is that both of those, if you're in one or the other, and it is a primary pattern, and one of them is overdeveloped, you're not bringing out your best in the world, at the best that you could, at the most that you could, right? Because I've seen both. I've seen me in the hard work and hustle in my internal world start to fall apart, right? And I've also done a lot of work around meditating 2 hours a day. And I've also caught myself in the pattern of just meditating and sitting there and feeling in this bliss and experiencing the higher realms, and then struggling to implement that in my life in the form of action, in the form of taking my internal creativity, my internal heart's calling, and put it into the 3D world. And so that's my question for you. My first question is, where do you think you are? Where do you think you rate yourself on that scale? If on one side is more of the meditative, relaxing, looking inward, internal inquiry, or the other extreme of just the hard work, effort, hustle, where is it that you find it, right? Because here's what I know. Our objective in life, our objective day in, day out, and for the rest of our lives is to master those two worlds. This is what Tony Robbins explains as the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. We need to master both. We need to master the science of achievement. We need to achieve. We need to get out there and put ourselves out into the world, especially if you're an entrepreneur and especially if you have this heart's calling. If you have this heart's calling that says, I want to make a difference. I want to make more of an impact, right? I want to build a business that's successful so I can reach more people and spread my mission and my message out into the world. Can you start to see how mastering the science of achievement can truly allow you to do that in the best of your ability? But on the other hand, we also have to master the art of fulfillment, right? This is an art. It's your internal world and mastering what lights you up, mastering your life in terms of how you want it to look and how you want to feel day in, day out. And so if your goal is to master both, can you see that you have to develop both those skills, right? Both those skills in terms of mastering, putting yourself out there and getting yourself out into the world, while also simultaneously holding that space and that fulfillment, doing that internal work. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're creating a vase, and we've all seen people on the who create pottery, and they sit in their chair, right? They have their turntable thing in front of them, and they create the pot by spinning the wheel, spinning the turntable, and creating something, right? Creating something beautiful, something that they were visualizing and putting it out into the 3D world, right? To add value for their own creativity. Now, can you see that takes two aspects of science of achievement, art of fulfillment. Art of fulfillment and the internal work, filling yourself up, is sitting there in that chair and truly just being in a space of creativity, of flow, of passion, right? Alignment, seeing what is it I want to create? What is it in my life that I want to make happen, that I feel called and pulled to bring into this 3D world? And you can sit there and you can manifest, you can use that creative juice, right? Your divine feminine, to just truly muster that energy of manifestation. And then as soon as you put your hands to the clay, that's you going into your masculine. That's you putting your internal creativity, your internal flow, your internal alignment into the 3D world, and you're starting to create. You're starting to make it happen. You're starting to put it out there into the world. Now, can you see on the entrepreneurial journey, it requires both, right? And it requires both because both exist within you. Both these sides of what we'll call your archetypes exist within you. You have an archetype of a warrior that wants to go out there and make it happen, right? You have this achiever within you that wants to go break through and make it happen. But you also have this internal sage that allows you to manifest, that allows you to sit in stillness, that allows you to be okay with where you are, that allows you to see the beauty in the now, that allows you to feel gratitude. And we have both sides of us. We have both sides within us. And if we have those sides within us, it means we can strengthen both. A lot of people think if I go and hard work and hustle, I'll lose my fulfillment, or I'll lose my internal sense of joy or creativity or love. And simultaneously, some people have the belief, like, if I sit down and meditate, stuff won't get done. I won't achieve. The way I see it is that you can strengthen both. You can strengthen both. You can strengthen your divine feminine, where you're just manifesting like crazy, where you're sitting and then you're feeling so much bliss, so much joy. You can even go into the higher realms and enjoy that. But you can also strengthen this masculine side of you and trust that divine masculine to bring it out into the world. And you can build both, knowing that you won't get jaded on either side, right? So here's my question to you. Which one is most scary? Whichever one is most scary is generally the one that is in your expansion, right? If your primary pattern is one of them, your expansion is the other. And to do that, I know it's scary, but you'll have to break away some stories, break away some old beliefs, right? Break away some other sides of you that are no longer serving you, so that you can develop both those sides. And the more you develop both those sides, the more you'll feel yourself growing. You'll feel yourself expanding, right? And the way I view this is it's similar to just breathing in and out. When you master both these aspects of life, it's exactly just like breathing in and breathing out. A lot of people are meditating and filling themselves up time and time again. But how much can you breathe in if you don't take the time to also breathe out? Right? When we breathe out, this is our way of serving. This is our way of contributing. This is our way of making something happen. This is our way of expressing our heart's calling into this 3D world, right? I know we're spiritual beings having a human experience, but we still have to have that human experience, right? We are here to have that human experience and create something in this 3D world to allow our heart's calling to manifest, right? And simultaneously, if you're breathing out all of the time, how much can you breathe out when you don't take time to breathe in? Right? How much do you take time to fill up your cup, to fill up that glass so that you can express, so that you can truly go out there? And when you do switch on that masculine drive, making it happen and creating something in a space of service, in a space of contribution, right, in a space of growth, from a space of love, Can you do that knowing that you've filled up first? And it's exactly like breathing in and out. And this is what I'm truly working on in my own life. I know it can get tough, and you can get jaded, you can get into old patterns. But the more you focus on, the more you're conscious aware of, is your primary pattern mostly breathing in, or is it mostly breathing out? And what you'll start to find is that if your pattern is primary on one side, you're not doing the other to the best of your ability either. They work in harmony. It works in flow. So what happens? What happens when you strengthen both sides? When you're in a position of you're breathing in, and then you're developing the muscle of breathing out and contributing, serving, making it happen, even breaking through, using that energy to overcome some tough obstacles through the effort, but then also going home and breathing in and truly learning the lessons, truly feeling those internal conflicts, allowing them to be there, seeing what comes up for you, right? A lot of people are meditating and they don't receive a lot of the insights because they haven't done the hard work or the effort in the 3D world that allows those sides of them to come up, allows those internal conflicts to come up, right? Another example is that when I'm building this course and I've got people going through it, and this course, is for heart-centered business owners who want to integrate their spiritual growth and their business growth. I have these internal conflicts come up around, are you good enough? Is this going to truly serve, right? Now, I can sit and meditate and heal that side of me. But that side of me never would have come up if I didn't take the action first, right? To feel that internal conflict is there. So it takes both. It's just like breathing in and out. And when you do this, when you focus on breathing in, breathing out, when you focus on developing your divine masculine and your divine feminine, and you feel this perfect harmony of growth, that's when you start to know and feel you're creating the impact that you're here to create. You're here to create the difference, and you're creating the difference in a way, and you're growing in a way and contributing in a way that is your calling. You know that. But when you're jaded on one side or the other, you can feel that there's a lack of growth. There's a lack of growth there. And if you're starting to feel that you don't know where it is, I can guarantee it's either in one of those. At some ability. So I've got 5 steps for you. I've got 5 steps. I wanted to summarize this and to put it into action so that you can write it down, so you can implement it throughout your day, and you have something tangibly to be able to work through. So step number 1 is to just be conscious, right? Throughout your day, as you breathe right now, just be honest with yourself of where you're at, right? Have you been too scared to take that action you're meant to take? Or are you taking action and that's your pattern of safety and you're avoiding a side of yourself and you need to sit and meditate and heal that side? Right? Really be conscious, be honest. Truly just sit there and be honest with yourself. You won't be doing yourself any favors by neglecting this, right? And avoiding a side of yourself or not being truthful. And then ask yourself the question, step number 2. Why is this overdeveloped? This can go very, very deep. And I love getting into this with my clients as well because it offers so many insights. But what is the benefit? What is the side benefit? What is the payoff, consciously or unconsciously, for you to be in this old pattern? For you to be in the pattern of one or the other, primary one or the other? Is it offering security, safety, significance, right? Uniqueness, importance? What is it for you? Do you get connection? Do you get love by going to either side and staying there? What is it for you that will offer so much in terms of your insight? What are the side benefits of being there? 3 is, why must you change this? We do not change if we don't have the reasons why. If we didn't have the internal leverage, it just doesn't happen. So understanding, why is it that you need to change this? Where will you be if this remains the same? If this remains the same, where will you be 5, 5 months from now, 10 months from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? What's the rest of your life going to look like? What are you going to feel day in, day out if this remains the same? If you remain in these patterns? What will you do? What will you feel if you know you're not contributing at the level you know you should? If you're not mastering both the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment? Where will your life be? Now, question 4 I have for you. Who would you be? What are your ways of being if you had that balance? If you truly strengthen both and you're operating from that way, what are your ways of being? Who would you be in that moment? Who would you be? What would your identity shift into? And question 5, what do you need to believe? What do you need to feel? And what do you need to do right now to be aligned with that type of being, that way of being? What do you need to do right now? What do you need to feel? What do you need to believe right now to operate from that place of being? And what you'll find is that if you can develop those beliefs now, feel that way now, act that way now, you'll start to shift your identity and you'll start to balance these sides of it. You'll start to feel like you have more tools on your tool belt because you'll be strengthening both sides. You'll be strengthening the sides of you that are already there. They already exist within you with just as much love, just as much beauty, just as much grace. All you're doing is acknowledging them and strengthening what's already there. And this is why I love the collaborative calls, the serving circle, everyone in there who's not only meditating and doing the inner work, but when we show up to the group coaching calls, when we show up to the serving circle collaborative calls, we're putting that into action, right? It's well and good to feel your level of contribution, to feel love, to feel like you're giving from a place of service, but to actually take time out of your week to do it, that's what inspires me. When I look around, I see how many people are showing up each week. It inspires me because I know they're taking action and they're truly just doing the inner work and they're breathing in and out, right? You can feel there won't be as much to meditate on if you're not taking that action. But if you're taking action from a place of service and a place of love and a place of non-attachment, then all of a sudden this side of you comes up that says, oh my God, maybe I'm not enough. Oh my God, what am I not getting? Oh my God, I gave to this person, they're not giving in return. And you find where you're in judgment. You find when you're in attachment, right? And that's so much growth for you to go back in, for you to breathe in and meditate on. And then the more you heal, the more you meditate, the more you feel those different sides of you, the more you show up to those calls or show up to your own community, your own group, your own clients, the more you have to give. The more you have to give. And it makes me passionate. It makes me excited. It makes me just feel whole to know that I'm on this journey with you. And it's just a journey of more and more growth, more and more contribution, and more love. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm going through my own stuff right now where I'm just like breaking through, doing these programs, breaking my old beliefs. And now I feel like, man, every single time I just step into more that I can give, more that I can contribute. So that's my little rant. That's my little rant. I hope this has inspired you. I hope you've had plenty of insights. I know going through those 5 questions are going to help you just break through some things that you might not have seen before. So feel free to breathe with this. Feel free to be honest with yourself. And I'll see you guys on the collaborative calls where we can just connect, we can collaborate, we can take time for ourselves to just truly be in a space of service. So I'll see you there.